Hello, everyone. This is Growth Central VC, and we aim to create an ecosystem of entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and talented individuals. Furthermore, we also analyze everything happening in the startup and venture capital world through our weekly newsletters. I'm your podcast host, Ishar Gugnani, and today we have Mazen BG amidst us. He has graduated from University of Michigan and pursued his MBA from INSEAD. From having worked as a strategy consultant at Deloitte to starting his own ventures like Stockwitty, which is a fantasy stock trading game for the Indian markets, to now being a contributing writer and a podcaster himself at a junior VC, he has tremendous experience in the startup ecosystem. Sir, we are delighted to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right. So, sir, before starting the podcast, let me just give you a brief description about what the podcast will be revolving around. And further, you will be answering certain questions that a lot of the viewers would actually have. NASSCOM recently reported out that India added 1,600 startups in the last year alone. And given the VC consortium, Indian Angel Networks, they plan to invest 100 crore rupees by the next year. This tremendous growth of the Indian startup industry, despite the COVID 19 pandemic and the onslaught which was caused by it. How do you see this startup industry and in particular the venture capitalist going on for the next year?
I mean, with every kind of swing and market cycle, there are opportunities that are created. So yeah, while the pandemic was difficult for some businesses, I think it's created a lot of new opportunities for new businesses to emerge. So in the short term, I don't think that it'll impact the investing space, but I do think the pandemic has done one thing. It's made people really think about what is important when investing and think a lot more about profitability. Is one of the trends that I've noticed. People want to invest in companies that have good unit economics more because of the pandemic. I think one of the trends that I've seen during the pandemic is that there's been an increased focus on profitability. Uh, People realize that those are the companies that do well in the tough times, companies that have good fundamentals and good unit economics. So one of the trends that I've noticed is investors looking for that more when investing in these times, looking for companies that already have reached profitability or have a good path to profitability.
Well, thank you. My next question will be a follow up for this. You say that profitability is like extremely important, and you also say that in this pandemic, people have become a bit, understanding about the investment know how. As a matter of fact, investors' wealth in the year 2020 itself grew by a staggering 32.4 like 9 crores. But there's also a point which actually talks about like this is a concept about growth and profitability. This is a dilemma, like where should the startups which are the emerging startups which are coming on, should they focus on growth or should they focus on profitability? Because keeping in view that the accounts books of the venture capitalist has also to be maintained, and which is also an important aspect. Some venture capitalists like would be seeing that they should write profit on their books and not say losses, which is like which occurs in normally in the initial years of a startup.
Okay, so let's
So
take a step back. So first of all, everything is important when building a business. I think when times are good, what I was referring to earlier is when times are good, people are less concerned about profitability and more concerned with growth. What you see, what happens in bad times is that it becomes really difficult. So there's always a dilemma between growth versus profitability and kind of what choices to make as a founder. I think it depends on a lot of things. First of all, I think it depends on the nature of your business and what you are like as an individual. I don't think that there's one answer that fits all. It really just depends on the situation. But to my point earlier, it's I see more of a shift. It's kind of a trend that I've observed rather than a rule, where profitability is less important in good times, but in bad times, the cracks start to kind of emerge, and companies that are growing like crazy but not making a profit find it a lot harder to survive an economic downturn like the one we've seen with COVID.
hmm. Fair enough. Even speaking of the economic downturn, there was a big economic slowdown in the year 2019 itself, like before COVID. So, an increase in this investment spree has always been like it's quite beneficial for us as an economy. Coming on to next thing, uh, this is like very obvious, and it was very obvious before the pandemic also, that technology will be taking our future. Like the future is technology. This was the phrase, and this is even now the phrase, the hot topic of the day. And in particular, we have seen that tech sector has been a pioneer of this investment spree, which we have observed and witnessed. So what are your thoughts on this, and what could be the possible reasons for the same? And do you think, will there be, like, is there any limit firstly that to this stretch that we have observed?
Um, no, I think the only limit is what people can imagine. That's what's amazing about technology, right? You're only limited by what you can think of. I think people are going to keep finding new things to build, and I don't really see any limit. To me, it's not really a surprise. I mean, it's almost inevitable. I think with every major technology we've come up with, we've kind of grown exponentially. Uh, with the internet, it took 10 years, but everyone has more access to information, and now with some of the newer revolutions that we've seen come and go, like the whole crypto thing, it went from being something nobody's heard of to you know becoming a huge industry in a matter of 3 years. So you expect innovation to increase at an exponential rate as people are building on top of things that they built before. And to me, that's not a surprise. But what's amazing about the world that we live in now is technology becomes so accessible that anybody can learn how to code. Anybody can build anything. The only thing that limits you is not ability, it's just your imagination.
Well, thank you. Now, this speaking on the very fact that you mentioned about crypto, I just recently read an article which said that the Indian government would now change its stance towards crypto, and there was a very like famous quote of exploring crypto, which was given by the ministry. So now, can we see the venture capitalist and the private equity firms backing the startups who accept cryptocurrency? And if so, will this be leading, like, say, a revolutionary change in the way that we use money?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that innovations in crypto are going to change the way we use money at all. I mean, you look at the fintech space in India, it is pretty evolved. Um, you know, personally, I mean, this is a very personal opinion. I think everyone has very different opinions about this. I think cryptocurrency is a form of currency. It'll evolve a bit. You'll have Bitcoin and some alternative currencies. It'll always be like an alternative. Maybe it'll be a replacement to gold in the long term, which I think is huge in terms of room for growth. Uh, but yeah, like I think crypto is technology like any other technology, right? It can be used to enable someone to do stuff. You can do more with it, but it's not going to be an overnight explosion. And as to your point about investments in the crypto space, I think that's been happening since 2011, 2012. Yeah, now more people are aware of it. Yeah, it's becoming more mainstream, but I think some of those other use cases of cryptos, things like non-fungible tokens, and then being used to uniquely identify ownership and its application in the art world or in the real estate world, or like fractional sell real estate. Those are the kind of use cases that I'm excited about, and I think are next for the crypto industry rather than currency and transactions.
No, okay, well, sounds fair. Um, Coming on to a different, like taking this conversation to a different route now. Internet giant Google, they recently said that they will support 1 million rural women entrepreneurs in India to help them pursue their ambitions and, you say, improve their livelihood. So, can we now see an increase in the, say, women participation in entrepreneurship? Of course, we have observed that for the quite recent times, but now, given the stance that Google has taken, could this actually, accelerate its growth again?
Uh, I I don't know. I mean, it would be great to see more female entrepreneurs. It's something that is not just unique to India. It's something that has been a problem in the valley, and a lot of people have tried to change it. So,
Yes,
with
yes, go
regards
on.
to Google's investment in, well, first of all, I think it's a big issue that is not just unique to, it's an issue in the US and a lot of startup geographies. Startup founders tend to be male dominated. And it's changing. It's changing. I think part of it is that it needs to be a systematic change. It's not just about giving female entrepreneurs more capital. I think it's about encouraging women to participate in science and engineering from a young age, to learn how to code early on, to encourage more women to become engineers. Uh, it's a cultural change, and it's happening, and it'll happen over time. I think having role models to look up to, female role models, will help to accelerate that process. I think there's a lot that can be done, a lot more that can be done. But yeah, access to capital is just one small part of the equation.
Fine. That would actually do it for the podcast. And thank you so much, Mr. Mazen, for speaking with us. We are very grateful that you took out about this much amount of time for us. And yes, we hope for a better future, for a better economic recovery for India, and so as like the startup industry to grow further.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to be here.
Thank you, listeners, for this podcast.